Comic Army. My name is Chris the Comic Vet. Hope this video finds you safe and well. Recently, Marvel Comics decided to relaunch The Amazing Spider-Man and begin a brand new volume, and they decided to put on a pretty well-received creative team at the helm. We had Zeb Wells writing and John Romita Jr. returning to do the interior artwork. I am, for one of those, very excited to see this creative team. Well, Mutant Beaver Comics, an online exclusive comic shop, decided to put together a variant pack, a bunch of variants that were released with The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 1 for this brand new volume. Well, I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger on this package of variants. That way I didn't have to go hunting, through 5 or 6, 7 different comic shops trying to find all the variants that I particularly enjoy. So those variants have shown up, and I decided to share them with you. So there are, like I said, quite a few of them. Now we'll go into them detail, let you know who the cover artist is, and just specifically how rare this particular variant could be. Before I begin, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Be prepared to leave a comment, and if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Well, let's begin with just the John Romita Jr. normal cover A trade dress. I gotta admit, they picked themselves a fantastic cover just to be the normal number 1 issue. I really enjoy it. As you can see, Spider-Man is web slinging across the top of New York, and he's being shown in a little bit of a spotlight from below. Yeah, it's pretty cool. We even have the sound effect of Peter shooting the web slinger. Yeah, John Romita Jr. did a pretty good job with that cover. All right. Up next is one of the hottest artists and one of the hottest new artists on the comic scene, Rose Besch. This is Rose Besch's variant for The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 1. As you can see, she decided to use both a dark and very light palette and give the frame of Peter that neon pink. That's something that Rose is kind of being known for, those neon colors. I, for one, actually really enjoy it. The cool thing about this is you can actually see a chin for Peter there sticking out. Man, you don't see that very often when it comes to Spider-Man. I believe there is a virgin variant of this as well. And speaking of hot artists, Peach Momoko. Now, Peach has done The Amazing Spider-Man a handful of times before. This particular one kind of follows that same style that she did with the other covers. This is her take on Peter again, but at first glance, all you're noticing is just maybe the eyelids, but if you notice, you'll see that he's actually coming down at a very high rate of speed. There's like buildings in the background to make it show that he's kind of falling towards the street. Yeah, it's an interesting take on Spider-Man, but that's what Peach is kind of known for, just interesting takes on certain characters. Yeah, it's okay. Up next is the Rami Jones variant featuring Mary Jane as Spider-Man. Now, this is an interesting cover. As you can see, MJ is done quite well. The pencil work, the coloring is very good, but it kind of seems like the background just doesn't necessarily work. It's just a high sky with some clouds. Well, where is she web slinging from? And where is she web slinging to? Like, is she web slinging from an airplane to another airplane? I don't know. It's a fun cover. It's just not necessarily my favorite one of the batch. One of my favorite ones of the batch, of course, comes from Art Germ. So, this is the normal trade dress combination of MJ and the Black Cat covers that Art Germ did. There is a normal full cover of MJ. There's also a full cover of Black Cat, and they both have virgin variants. And there's also a virgin variant of this particular cover which is a 1 in 250 ratio. I do not have that one yet. But yes, it's just Artgerm doing that incredible work that he normally does. And yeah, I can't really decide which one I like better. Do I like the MJ side? Do I like the Black Cat side? Yeah, they're both pretty stunning. Up next is Inyuk Lee's take on the Amazing Spider-Man. Now, the cool thing about this is that it's actually upside down. This is the way that you're supposed to look at it. As you can see, beside Spider-Man's thigh there's the top of a building. And if you look at it this way, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, that's a very cool take on Spider-Man. And I gotta admit, I really enjoy when artists put them upside down. It's something Todd McFarlane used to do way back in the day, and I've kind of been into it ever since. Up next is Mark Bagley, a man known for his Spider-Man work. And this particular cover shows exactly Mark's fantastic take on Spider-Man. It's just Peter web-slinging through New York, looking like he's having a lot of fun. But yeah. Yeah, there's nothing really to complain about this cover. It works well for me personally. The background works well. The lighting of the sky, it's fine. It's just Mark Bagley doing Spider-Man, and it's just the way it's supposed to be. Now, on to a fun cover. Skottie Young. Now, as you can see, this is Skottie Young's take on Spider-Man. We've all seen it before, but this one is actually a fantastic cover in my opinion. Why? If you notice, they've actually moved the trade dress, the Amazing Spider-Man logo, to fit into the artwork as opposed to try and move the artwork around to fit the trade dress. I really enjoy this. If I were to get this graded, I sure hope it comes back in a 9.8 because there's a lot of black on this cover, especially along the spine, as you can see here. But yeah, Skottie Young does a pretty good Spider-Man. I hope that he writes Spider-Man at some point. Up next is a connecting cover. This is called the Bengal connecting cover. As you can see, it's a little bit of the Spider family. You have Peter up front. You have Spider-Man Noir up top there with Spider-Man from India. It's Spider-Woman, obviously. Yeah, it's a pretty fun cover. Curious to see what the other connecting covers are going to look like. Maybe Miles will be on the front of it. Maybe Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider. Maybe she'll be on the cover of it. But yeah, the Bengal connecting variant. Now, from the last volume of The Amazing Spider-Man, it wasn't very well received, and I did not particularly enjoy it that much. But there was one small story arc at the very end of that particular volume that I did enjoy. It was the introduction of the Queen Goblin. And this is Patrick Gleason's webhead variant featuring Her Majesty, the Queen Goblin. Now, there is a Virgin variant, obviously, for this particular one. I think you actually might be able to get it through Patrick Gleason's website. But this is the normal trade dress. And to be honest, I'm quite happy having just this one. And the Hidden Spider, by the way, is right there. For those of you that know what I'm talking about. But yes, I hope that Zeb Wells somewhere along the line incorporates the Queen Goblin back into the ASM mythos, and that we get to enjoy this murderous goblin and see what she can do. Let's talk ratio. This next one is the 1 in 25 J. David Ramos Virgin variant. So again, this is Peter upside down. As you can see, the skyline is way behind him, or pardon me, the roof of the skyline is way behind him, and he's upside down, looking down actually on the street, and kind of looks like one of the webs has kind of gone out of control. But yeah, It's actually a pretty fun take. I like when artists have a little bit of freedom and kind of do what they want with the character. As you can see, Spider-Man's wrists are pretty narrow there, as his ankles are. So yeah, when an artist kind of has that free reign to do their own kind of take on Spider-Man, I enjoy it. It's not just a carbon copy of what everyone else is doing out there. So yeah, this is the 1 in 25 J. David Ramos variant. The last book I'm going to show you is the 1 in 50 ratio variant, and it's done by the legendary Alan Davis. And it actually might be my favorite of the lot. But again, here we have Peter web slinging across the rooftop of New York City with the sun kind of coming, or pardon me, the sun setting or coming up. I would like to think the sun is setting right behind him as he's web slinging towards us. This might be a better view. As you can see, there's the skyline. That's the top of New York City there, with Peter upside down, web slinging, having some fun. You know, Peter often says he goes out to web sling just to clear his mind. And I kind of like to think that's what's happening here. But yes, this is the 1 in 50 Alan Davis ratio variant. It's pretty nice. Well, Comic Army, that's it for the variants that I picked up from Mutant Beaver. Like I said, it was just a one lump sum, and they sent all those variants, and I believe it came out on a Wednesday, and less than 5 days later, they were delivered. Not bad. Let me know what your favorite variant is, or do you prefer the cover A? There's actually nothing wrong with the cover A. It's actually fantastic as far as I'm concerned, but I'm glad to see that the Amazing Spider-Man is back in the hands of a Ramita. I have high hopes for this particular volume, and I hope you do too. Comic Army, thanks for spending a little bit of time with me. Take care.